So we'll discuss deeply from glucose. Okay, glucose first undergoing glycolysis. In glycolysis, how many NADH are formed? I told you 2 ATP and 2 NADH. Okay, and next pyruvic acid undergoing oxidative decarboxylation, and it is also forming 2 NADH. Okay, 2 NADH plus. Okay, and next Krebs cycle, 4 oxidations. Out of 4 oxidation, 3 oxidation forming NADH and 1 forming FADH2. So these are the energy, not energy exactly, that means there is no ATP formation. One substrate level phosphorylation is also, one substrate level phosphorylation. So it's not exact form of energy currency. Now it is converted into exact energy form anamata. Okay, right. So now this NADH and FADH2, which are formed in different steps of the respiration, they are now converted into ATP. How they are converted? That is the third step of aerobic respiration, that is called as electron transport. What is it? Electron transport, because here membrane bound organelles are there, that means some protein substances are there. They are transferring the electrons from one to another, and ultimately it reaches to the ATP synthase complex and generates the ATP. How it is formed? That is called as electron transport chain. Electron transport chain. So we have to discuss about it. In electron transport chain, it takes place in cristae of mitochondria. Cristae. What is the cristae? Cristae means what? Cristae is nothing but inner foldings are called as cristae, right? So in the cristae, a membrane, that is nothing but a membrane. That membrane is having some protein complex. That protein complexes are involved in transfer of electrons and production of ATP also. So that's why it is called as electron transport chain, ETC, electron transport chain. So there are different complexes. There are 5 complexes are there. Complex 1 is called as NADH dehydrogenase complex. This is NADH dehydrogenase complex, complex 1. Okay, next this is called as complex 2, FADH2 dehydrogenase complex, FADH2 dehydrogenase complex. Next, complex 3 called as cytochrome C reductase. This is complex 3 called as cytochrome C reductase, and the fourth complex is called as cytochrome C oxidase, and fifth complex is called as ATP synthase. This is all takes place in cristae. This is the membrane anamata. Okay, this membrane bound proteins are involved in the transport of electrons and ultimately reaches to the O2 and converting O2 into water molecule. That's the main thing. Carbon dioxide is released in different steps. 6 CO2 are released out, but we have to get water molecules also, right? So that water molecules, for the formation of water molecule, it need electrons and protons. That electrons are coming from these complexes and ultimately reaches to the oxygen and converting it into water molecule. So in this process, protons are also released. These protons are involved in the formation of ATP. Okay. So how it is going, I will explain you. So first, NADH dehydrogenase complex. Whatever the NADH formed in glycolysis, oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid and Krebs cycle, these 3 are actually not glycolysis. The compounds, the NADH formed in mitochondria are enter into this first complex called as NADH dehydrogenase complex. So during this, electrons are transferred from NADH dehydrogenase complex to not the second complex, it enter into Q cycle. It enter into Q cycle. That means electron is passed from NADH dehydrogenase complex to Q cycle. Q cycle is exactly similar to the photosynthesis PQ cycle. The electron transport, non-cyclic electron transport and cyclic electron transport is there, right? Here, there, Plastock-Quinone cycle is there. Like that, here, Q cycle is there. That is called as ubiquinone cycle. Ubiquinone cycle. UQ, same. UQ is converted into UQH2. It need 2 electrons, and for every passes of 1 electron, it gaining 2 protons. 2 protons. This is actually, this is the cristae, and this is intermembrane space. Space will be there, right? Right, ubiquinone cycle. So ultimately it passes electrons to first, that is cytochrome C reductase complex. Cytochrome C reductase complex. From the cytochrome C reductase, it get oxidized by the cytochrome 4th complex, that is cytochrome C oxidase, and ultimately the electron is moved to the oxygen. During this process, for every passage of electron, it releases, actually 2 protons are released from every passage of 1 electron. Okay, here 2 electrons are there. So for every passage of 2 electrons, it releases 4 protons. 4 protons are released. Now these 4 protons are released in the intermembranal space, and next from the third complex also 4 protons are released. 4 protons are also released, and next from the 4th complex also actually 4 protons has to be released, but here 2 protons are utilized for the production of 1 water molecule. 1 water molecule, the 2 protons are released out, so that only 2 protons are released into the intermembranal space. Okay, so this is about NADH dehydrogenase complex. NADH dehydrogenase complex. What about this complex 2? I left it, right? Whenever there is a FADH2 is there, then it is moved from complex 2, not related to the complex 1. So ultimately it goes to the cytochrome C reductase, that is complex 4, complex 3, where the protons are released. How many protons are released ultimately? 6 protons. When FADH2 is entered, how many protons are released? 6 protons are released, not 10 protons. Okay, so here for 1 NADH, 10 protons are released. Okay, but for FADH2, only 6 protons are released. 6 protons are released. So what about the cytosolic NADH? That means in glycolysis also there is a production of NADH, right? So actually here one more complex will be there, peripheral NADH dehydrogenase complex, which is peripheral NADH dehydrogenase complex, which is responsible for the electron transport of this glycolysis NADH dehydrogenase. NADH dehydrogenase, which is responsible for directly it gives electron to the third complex. So here also only 6 protons are released for 1 NADH. This is what? Glycolysis. Only 6 protons are released. 6 protons are released. Okay. So ultimately this is electron transport chain. Ultimate product is water molecule. How it is formed? From complex 1 to complex 3 in the presence of Q cycle, and complex 3 to complex 4 to oxygen. So during this process protons are released. These protons, we know that how the ATP is synthesized. ATP is synthesized due to the development of proton motive force. So here in the intermembranal space more hydrogens are released out, so that compared to the matrix there is an increase of concentration of protons are there in the intermembranal space compared to the matrix. So there is an osmotic relationship takes place. That means gradient is established between these two systems, matrix and intermembranal space. Ultimately that protons are entered into a complex called as ATP synthase complex. This ATP synthase complex is having F0, F1 part. F1 is a head part and F0 is a tail part. Through the tail, protons are released into the matrix region. During the time of release of proton molecules from intermembranous space to matrix, so due to the proton motive force, ADP is converted into ATP. ADP is converted into ATP. So this is process of electron transport. Electron transport. So we have to check the balance energy, how much energy is derived from one glucose molecule. So we have to calculate. Understood? So complex 1 is called as NADH dehydrogenase complex. Complex 2 is FADH2 dehydrogenase. This FADH2 and peripheral NADH dehydrogenase directly giving electron to the third complex, not the involvement of first complex, so that only 6 protons are released. But for mitochondrial NADH dehydrogenase, there is a production of 10 proton molecules. 10 proton molecules. Remember it. So here the ATP is formed in presence of oxygen, right? In presence of oxygen, ATP is formed. So that's why it is called as oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation. Whereas in photosynthesis, the ATP is synthesized in the presence of light. So it is called as photophosphorylation. So here I explained 3 types of phosphorylations. One is called as photophosphorylation, another one is called as oxidative phosphorylation, and third one is substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, remember. So we will check out the balance sheet. How to check means, in glycolysis, what is the ultimate product? 2 ATP and 2 NADH. This 2 NADH H plus can form how many protons? 4 plus 2. I told you 6 protons. So I explained that in photosynthesis I explained about the ATP synthesis. Approximately 3 protons forms 1 ATP. 3 protons forms 3 H plus forms 1 ATP. So that here how many ATPs can form? 3 into 2. Not 3 into 2. Actually 2 ATP kada? So 2 ATP, 2 into 2, 4 ATP. This is 2 ATP. So this is glycolysis NADH dehydrogenase. What about oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid? Here also 2 NADH are formed. They are forming what? They form, this is mitochondrial NADH, so that it's forming 10 protons, right? So for formation of 3 protons, 1 ATP is generated, means approximately 3 ATP can formed from 10 hydrogens. So 3 into 2 is equal to 6 ATP, right? So during the Krebs cycle, 3 NADH are generated. Oxidations in Krebs cycle. Three NADH. So for 3 NADH, 3 3s are. Here 3 NADH for 1 acetyl CoA, right? So 6 NADH. Here 2 pyruvic acids are entered, right? That's why 2 NADH I told you. So here 3 oxidation steps for 1 acetyl CoA. 2 acetyl CoA are there. So 6 NADH. 6 into 3, 18 ATP. Okay. Next, FADH2 is also formed in the Krebs cycle. So 2 FADH2. So here FADH2 is also not concerning the first complex. Complex 1 is not involved. Directly it gives electrons to the third complex, right? So that it is also forming 2 ATP. Okay. Next, one substrate level phosphorylation is there. succinyl CoA to succinic acid formation. So 2 ATP. What is the net gain? 20, 22, 28, 30, 34 actually, 36 I have to get. Where I left? 2, 4, 4 plus 18, 4, 6, 12, 30, 32, 34 వచ్చినాయి. ఇంకో 2 ATP ఎక్కడ వదిలేసాను? I got the mistake. 2 into 2, 4. Okay, so 4 ATP. Ultimately 36 ATP are generated for one glucose molecule. One glucose molecule, if it is undergoing respiration, it forming 36 ATP. This is the balance sheet. Understood? I will explain again. For every 3 protons, 1 ATP is formed. You have to remember it. Okay, so for NADH, if it is matrix NADH, it is involved by the complex 1. So in complex 1 4 protons, and complex 3 4 protons, and complex 4 2 protons are released. Ultimately 10 protons. 10 protons can form 3 ATP. Approximately 3 ATP can be formed, right? So for FADH2, it is not involved with the complex 1. It is directly convey the electron to the complex 3, so that 4 protons are released, and next 2 protons are released from the complex 4. Ultimately it forming 6 protons. 6 protons can form 2 ATP. For glycolysis, NADH dehydrogenase also, that will be located at the peripheral side of the matrix cristae, and it is also like that of FADH2. Okay, so ultimately 2 ATP is only formed. Okay, right. So in glycolysis we get 2 ATP. Normal substrate level phosphorylation, 2 ATP is generated, and 2 NADH H plus are generated. We know that for 1 NADH 2 ATP are generated. So 2 into 2 4 ATP. This is about glycolysis. Next, oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid, also forming 2 NADH. It is involved in matrix, right? So it is involved by the complex 1. Ultimately it forms 3 ATP. So 3 into 2 6 ATP, right? Next, Krebs cycle, 3 NADH are generated. 3 steps. Here 2 molecules of acetyl CoA are entered, so that it is forming 6 NADH. 6 into 3 18 ATP, right? And again 2 FADH2 are generated, it forming 2 ATP. Ultimately 4 ATP are generated, and substrate level phosphorylation is also there. So 2 ATP and 2 ATP. So ultimately forming 36 ATP are generated from one glucose molecule. This is about electron transport. And here the ATP synthesis is called as oxidative phosphorylation, because it takes place in the presence of oxygen. So we got the CO2 in different steps, like at oxidative decarboxylation of pyruvic acid, and from different steps of the citric acid cycle also. And ultimately we also got water molecule, and we got 36 ATP from one glucose molecule, which is undergoing respiration, aerobic respiration, not anaerobic respiration, aerobic respiration. Okay, right. So this respiration is also called as amphibolic pathway. Respiration is that means Krebs cycle is a amphibolic pathway. Krebs cycle is also called as amphibolic pathway. Why? Because actually here the process is called as catabolism, right? Because breakdown of food material takes place. Catabolism. Construction is called as anabolism, right? You know it. Anabolism is nothing but photosynthesis. Catabolism is nothing but respiration. Breakdown. But during the time of citric acid cycle, some intermediate compounds like, I will give you an example like alpha ketogluteric acid. This alpha ketogluteric acid can involve in the synthesis of proteins, amino acids. Amino acid precursor is alpha ketogluteric acid. For every amino acid, the precursor is alpha ketogluteric acid only. Not only that, if compounds like glucose, apart from glucose, if proteins are involved in respiration, different type of compounds are formed intermediately. That compounds may be involved in other production, other compound production. That means here construction, right? That means it's nothing but anabolism or not. Actually it is going what? Catabolism. But during the time of the process, it is also involved in anabolic process of something, some other process. So that's what is called as amphibolic pathway. Amphibolic pathway, right? And lastly, you have to discuss about RQ, respiratory quotient. RQ is equal to molecules of CO2 evolved by molecules of O2 released. This is called as RQ. Number of molecules of carbon dioxide released by the number of molecules oxygen utilized. Usually RQ will be, if you take an example like glucose, C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives rise to 6CO2 plus 6H2O, right? So here how many carbon dioxide molecules are released out? RQ of glucose is equal to 6CO2 by 6O2. So cancel only 1. So RQ of glucose is 1. RQ of glucose is 1. Okay. If you take an example like other thing like protein, the RQ will be 0.9. 0.9, and for organic acids or fatty acids it will be 0.7 like that. Tripamidine, example is tripamidine. Your textbook is given this. Tripamidine is 0.7 RQ. Respiratory quotient, number of molecules of carbon dioxide released by number of oxygen molecule evolved is called as respiratory quotient. Okay, so this is about respiration. So 3 steps are involved in glycolysis, aerobic respiration, that is glycolysis, citric acid cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle or Krebs cycle, and next electron transport chain, etc. So ultimately we got 36 ATP. So this is about respiration. Hope you understand. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you.